Facebook Live! Yay! Here we go! Start making a noise and acting a fool in front of Facebook Live because we don't care.
That's what we do.
Now, I got so jazzed. I'm like, okay, wait. Okay, this is the last song. I've got to get in here and push play. Crap, I was in the middle of the playlist. So you heard like the beginning of one of the songs that's going to be in the playlist. Okay, right in front of the Facebook Live, Deb is dropping a bag of fries. Thank you very much, Deb. We do appreciate.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, well, no, that's okay. No one really wants to see my ugly face, so, to hide it behind a bag of fries is perfect.
The truth.
Absolutely. Ooh, there we go.
Throwing shade.
Someone's got jokes.
And with the closing of the door, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Manpocalypse. I'm Aaron. He is Mike. Ladies and gentlemen, take a good look at Facebook Live. Look at that face. Look at that gorgeous face. You know what I want to say about that face right there. I want to say a little bit of something about that face right there. And this is what I feel for this face. This is what I feel for this face right here. Enjoy.
Why do you hate me? Stop it right there.
There you go. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I had to throw that in there.
Yes, I shaved. I look 12. Let the jokes begin.
Well, I felt bad for you there because the whole time everybody's talking about how your age progression reversed.
Oh yeah.
And I think my favorite one, and I got a lot of agreement for this. And Samwise Gamgee, you got a little bit of Sean Austin going on there.
Yep.
Especially when
I had a little more hair.
Yeah, before the haircut, you had a Samwise Gamgee going on there. And you felt like, I need somebody to tell me I'm pretty. I need somebody to tell me I'm pretty. And I'm like, all right, here you go.
Yep.
I got Julie Andrews.
If you don't know,
to tell you you're pretty.
I put out on Facebook that I've been called Paul Blart. I've been called Kevin James or Paul Blart. I've been called Samwise. I've been told to put the beard back on. And I made a post that said, well, someone please tell me I'm pretty.
Nope. And the fun part is, if you follow the Manpocalypse radio show on Facebook, you got to watch live, as most of us did, the beard coming off.
Yeah.
And when I saw the post where somebody said that they wanted you to put the beard back on, I'm like, dude, this is in the backyard of some dude's house, okay? I am not combing through the lawn to look for beard product.
Well, my beard all fell at my feet.
Yep.
I mean, with a few stragglers, I'm sure, but there was honestly enough there that I could have fashioned something.
You could have made another you.
Yeah.
You could have had a third co-host. We called it the beard. So yeah, that's kind of the big thing. So we've been starting the show. So what did you do this week? Well, you lost about 20 pounds off your face.
Yes.
And another 10 off your head.
Yeah.
And have you shown off the haircut yet?
I have not shown off the haircut.
You're not going to.
No,
of course not. No. This is radio. We're not going to show off the haircut.
Basically, I went modified high and tight. It's just not quite as high, but it's pretty damn tight.
Now, that's the fun part because when you're on base, you walk into a barbershop, you sit down in the chair, and you say 3 simple words. High and tight.
Yep.
High and tight, 3 words. So somebody said something, that's 2. I'm like, okay, shut up. And they know what you're talking about, and you're done in 5 minutes.
Moments.
You can't do that anywhere else on the planet.
No.
Unless you're dealing with a barber who, 1, served, 2, in the Marines.
Yeah.
Because, Army, Air Force, no, they don't do high and tight. And 3, can cut it.
I have to go in because, unfortunately, I don't really get to go to a barber per se.
Yep.
I have to go to, one of these little chain salons like everyone else.
You go to the man cave salon with the comfy chairs and the sports TVs everywhere.
I've been there once, and it was amazing. I forget what it's called right now.
I met one of my best friends, was my stylist when I had hair. Was from one of those chains. And
what the heck? Sport Clips. is what it's called out here.
Oh no, that's not the one I'm thinking of.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking of it's advertised as literally. It's like, okay, we simply. I mean, there's salons everywhere.
Right.
That you walk in, and you and I walk in,
Yeah.
and we're like, what are these men doing here? Why are you guys here? We do nails and hair and facials and we do the whole experience. No, this is dedicated to the exact opposite. This is like, I really, now that I'm thinking about it, I want to go to one. It's a national chain, so good luck. Hey, advertise on us.
Right.
But it's geared towards men.
Yeah.
And like I said, they're all 20-something stylists. They're all very eager to help you out, not help you out, but to take care of you. Face, body, face, hair. They do the scalp massage. They they do the beard trim. There was one time where I was like, I'd let my beard go for a while. Not like yours, but
Yeah.
And she did straight razor. I haven't had a straight razor shave in decades.
It's amazing when somebody knows how to do it right.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was just like it was an experience. I just laid there. You have to lay there. You have to be comfortable with it. You have to realize you're kind of putting your life in somebody's hands.
Yeah, for sure.
But you have to lay there, laying still, and just enjoy, because it is quite a comfortable experience. And then it just becomes one thing that you just enjoy. So
see, like you were saying, you can't just walk into most of these places and say high and tight.
Mm-hmm.
They have no clue. I have to go in and I have to go 0 on the sides and back, 3 on top, fade it, and only then and maybe only then do they know what I'm talking about.
Right.
And then here's the other problem I have with just about any chain salon.
Yep.
Without fail, there's always a moment where, and it's always a woman cutting my hair, and her breasts are right in my face, and she asks me a question, and all I can think is, if I answer, this is about to become a sexual experience.
And the thing is that they're maneuvering your head, because they need to put you in. They need you to be where they want you to be, so they can cut your hair. And inevitably, yes, it's not just like, I'm going to put your face centimeters from my chesticles.
Yeah.
Enjoy. But not only that,
like if I sneeze, I'm straight up bouncing off those things. I'm sorry.
If I sneeze, you're going to feel the spray.
Yeah.
But not only that, but they're moving in such close proximity because they're trying to get to where they're doing. You feel every motion that they make next to you. And if you get one on a chilly day, that's it. You're done. It's just like, I am so glad, I am so grateful that they have this giant cape over me, because at my age, I'm going to enjoy this in a way that I should not. And I need you to not know this. I need you to continue doing your professional thing up here while I'm being inappropriate down here.
I think at one point I counted 1 minute and 35 seconds that a hairstylist's breasts were resting on the back of my neck. Just resting. And it's like, okay, lady, you've got to know, but I can't say anything.
I think there needs to be like a specific standard set cutoff time to say, all right, we've passed the point of professionalism. You now really, you're gaming for your tip.
Yeah. At this point, I feel like I know you. Get those off of me.
I feel like there's a dinner involved here somewhere, but no. And ever since I've been kind of clippering my own hair, I don't have to worry about that anymore. But
and Ellie asked, aren't there any barbers around? And the answer is yes, there are barbershops, but they're few and far between,
right?
And kind of hard to find sometimes. I mean, honestly, I think if I wanted to drive to a barbershop, I would have a 25-minute drive in any direction.
Right. Well, the other end of that, though, is that you can go outside and trip over just about any kind of chain salon, big box place, but to find
I've got 3 within 5 minutes.
To find the real good, just kind of barbershop
where they can do that kind of stuff. You have to go looking for that. I think that's what we were talking about when we started talking about Good Eats last week.
Yeah.
Where we're looking for the small mom and pop type places,
The out of the way.
places, the ones that you have to be told by your friends about because they went there.
And if you
Not because
happen
you
to
saw a
live
commercial.
within 10 minutes away, just count yourself lucky.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have to bring this up. Ellie asked, how can you be inappropriate? Can't you control little Aaron?
I can control it. Yeah, absolutely. That's the inappropriateness of it. It's the control game. But Ellie, that's an aspect of my life that let's just say. Anyway,
By the way, on that note, happy birthday, Ellie.
happy birthday, Ellie. We would sing, but it would be off key and
It'd be bad.
it would just be bad. So enjoy the pig. If you're wondering, I got this milkshake here. It's a red velvet milkshake, and I thought the concept of it was going to be interesting enough. So I thought I'd give it a try and talk about like being inappropriate and having like no control. This milkshake. I try to stay away from dairy products as much as possible because, well, let's just it's going to get a little interesting in the studio today. This milkshake is an experience.
Oh yeah?
This is a very, very good milkshake. I really can't stand whipped cream in milkshakes. Again, dairy.
Right.
I've already let the whipped cream melt in. I don't care. I'm just like starting from the bottom and working my way up. This is an incredible milkshake. So you keep seeing me hit off of this throughout the beginning of the show. It's because I cannot keep my hands off of this milkshake. I have my bottled water here, and I'm like, okay, I'll get to you later. It's like I'm lining up my vices here.
Right.
Hey,
milkshake, burger, bottled water.
Something to that effect. Let's see. Oh, we are fastly approaching the Stan Hyatt Scotch Doubles Tournament benefit on the 22nd of July. It is not this coming Saturday. I believe it is 2 Saturdays from now. I have to actually. No, it's one Saturday. It's not this coming Saturday.
The one
It's
after.
the next. It's the one after that because it's coming Saturday. It's the 14th. One thing to keep in mind, we've been talking about this for a while now. The venue has changed. It is no longer going to be where we've been talking about. We have moved to Legend Lanes on State Road in Cuyahoga Falls. Everything else is going to be exactly the same. It's still on the 22nd.
Location.
It's still from 1 to 4. It's still $30 a team. There's still going to be the raffles, the auction, the prizes. If you have things that you want to donate for the raffles, if you want to help in any way, you can call the station at 234-706-5857. If you want to get in touch with our general manager, Debbie, she can be reached at 234-900-9770. I wanted you to have an opportunity to talk about the success that we had last week and the reason that my head is still bare.
So, if you tuned in last week, we had a bunch of loud women right outside our door having henna art done by the very talented Nirali from Akron Henna Art. And she was doing
I
this.
love how we just know her name is Nirali. Her last name, just like
It's
Sia.
It's Nirali.
Just Nirali.
Just all you need is first name. She's as cool. She's awesome. But I had posted that I needed help raising money for my father, who's in a bad spot, and Nirali reached out to me and said, "Hey, I want to do this event for you." So we held it right here last week, and originally we were going to have her actually do henna on your bald head. Just kind of thought it'd be fun, and as it turned out, the event technically ended at 8, and I think at 8:45 she was finishing up the last lady that walked through the door. So we just never got a chance to get to Aaron, and that's actually a good thing. The event actually turned out really well. We raised $164 for my dad, which the next day I drove out and made a payment on his repair bill for his car. So that definitely helped, and it was a great time. I mean, we had a lot of laughs, hearing all the laughing and cackling and everything else that was going on outside our door.
Now, is Nerali going to be making any more appearances? Is she doing any other festivals or anything else in the area?
She does festivals all over the place, but I'll be honest, her schedule is all over the place. So the best thing you can do if you want to follow her and see if you can go get some of this henna art for yourself is to look up Akron Henna Art on Facebook and Instagram. And she usually posts where she's going to be at any given point.
I'm sorry. There's actually pieces of cake in this milkshake. Now I think about, Gabriel Iglesias. If you've ever watched any of his stand-ups, there's one where he talks about the chocolate cake shake. There's actually pieces of red velvet cake in this milkshake. I'm sorry. This has become a new level of experience.
Michelle, Aaron may not make it home.
I'm not coming home tonight. I'm replacing you with this shake. Oh my God. Woo! Ooh, nipples go down. Thank you very much. All right. There are a couple of things that we were going to discuss tonight. And I'm going to start out with the one that we shared together on over Messenger. Was that story? I think you shared it with me. No, I shared it with you.
Yeah.
And then I turned it around. There was an article that came out, and I didn't even read into the article too much because immediately I thought, yeah. And you know what? This is actually even something that Earl and I discussed, and I can run about it. There was an article that came up in regards to referring to strangers with pet names.
Yeah.
Like babe or honey or sweetie. And you see this a lot in the service industry. And sadly, it's happened to me quite a few times.
Oh, yeah.
In my line of work where I talk to people and they'll automatically break off a sweetie
Oh, yeah.
or a honey or a babe or things like that. And what the takeaway was from it was, it was geared towards men using this type of vernacular towards women. And immediately I thought, wait a second, it's a bigger thing where women are saying these things to men.
Oh, yeah.
On a whole, a lot of men don't really mind, but when you stop and think about the fact that if it's unwelcome, it's unwelcome. It should not matter, who's saying it or
Right.
Who it's directed to. There is really one person that I allow to use pet names for me. Everybody else, including our general manager, is walking into the studio again, doesn't get to do that.
Right.
Now, sometimes I will give you a warning. Sometimes I won't. If it's in a service-related environment, I'm either going to absolutely
Is
just...
she trying to do some retarded Oompa Loompa thing?
You just said what?
He said what? He called you an Oompa Loompa.
What was that little dance? Facebook Live, if you could see what she did walking into
the
this
restroom
room.
is around the corner.
I'm getting my stuff. We're headed out.
Okay. Go ahead and give her stuff while I continue to talk about this. And the thing was
Charger, please.
oh, I don't get to use it anymore. Sad face.
Not mean.
Is that there have been times where I have walked into restaurants and the hostess will say, right this way, hon.
Right.
Here's your
Your
table.
sweetie.
Here's your table, darling.
Hey, darling.
And I've turned around and walked out. I've flat out walked out. I've gone somewhere else. Because I'm like, I am not your hon, and you don't know me from Adam. You have no right to refer to me in such a way. And at work, I will let folks know, hey, please, I'd appreciate it if you don't address me like that. And Earl is trying to figure out how to turn a microphone on.
Hey, Aaron, honey.
Yes, Jim.
I had to go there.
You had to go there.
It's different if you
Just
know
be careful.
somebody.
Just be careful with the chair because I've been farting in that chair.
Like this?
Yeah, just like that.
Yeah.
So if you
I've been having this milkshake the
if
whole
you do
night,
it, do it to the left side. That way it evens out because I've been doing it on the right side.
Oh,
So I'm just trying to help you out.
I tend to cheat to the right.
I just want
Evenly wear the chair.
I just want to say hello, everybody. I'm leaving.
He called me Oompa Loompa.
It fits.
There you go.
You were dancing like one.
That's the wrong button, Earl. There we go.
Her nickname is Oompy.
There we go. The peanut gallery has joined in.
That.
She's staring at me like I'm supposed to say
Hey,
something.
Remember us
before she-
assholes got to stick.
Us assholes got to stick together.
That's right.
Yeah, but now he just looks like a penis.
Oh!
It's true. It's true.
And we thought Dylan was bad. Well, it could be worse when he's clean shaven completely. He looks like a thumb.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's our. These are the people.
That's what we're trying to do with this radio station.
This is the
Is
people
build
we
a
answer
human
to.
being.
There you go. Bit by bit. Frankenhuman. Yeah, like that. Only, attractive. And here comes Earl. Volume button. There you go.
But I did want to say on a serious note, you guys are doing a fantastic job, and we're all happy with everything you guys are doing here, and couldn't be more pleased with the Manpocalypse show here at SKO.
Outstanding. Thank you. So your check actually did clear.
It did.
Outstanding. Because the 3 you wrote for me bounced like rubber. But his check cleared. All right.
Oh.
Boom! My check's always clear.
That's why it's.
They bounce right off of that.
There we go.
Ass sack.
At some point, I'm going to remember what I was talking about. But yeah, so
Sorry, guys, we're
It's all right. It's all right.
it comes down to a level of respect. Okay, if you don't mind being called, by pet names by complete strangers, then go right ahead. But there's some of us, especially like I said, in a professional environment where I'm taking phone calls from people.
Right.
I don't want you to be calling me because again, if I did it to you and you didn't appreciate it, in about 30 minutes, I'm going to be standing in front of HR trying to explain
Yeah,
this
you're
away.
never going to hear the end of it.
Exactly. So that was that.
Now, see, I'm a little more. On any given day, I can just shrug it off. It doesn't really bother me.
Right.
It's when it takes that tone of, look here, honey. All right, no, I'm not your honey. Shut the hell up.
Mhm.
But if it's some, I don't want to say little old lady, but typically it is. If it's some little old lady that calls me sweetie or honey, I just blow it off. It doesn't
Right.
bother
The other one that drives me out of my
me.
mind is when anyone calls me son.
That pisses me off.
Okay, I have one father, and he doesn't even call me son anymore that much.
Yeah.
Usually it's like, asshole. I kind of earned that title, so I'm going to
Us
go with it.
assholes all gonna stick
Yeah,
together.
There you go.
I'll take asshole over son. Don't call me son.
I'm like, and usually I come back with a quip enough of, look, if I ever come across the verifiable information that I was sired by a POS like you, I will jump out the nearest window and I will make sure it's high enough. Because at that point, life has ceased to have meaning. Now, don't
And then
call
they
me
just-
son.
They look at you confused, like, what do you say?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I use too many polysyllabic words on you? Like that one right there.
Now, if you want
You
full
use strong
impact,
words.
you gotta do
Big
it.
word.
Do it out that window because this one you'll get that little push there. If you go right out
So you
straight
don't want me
outside.
jumping into the bush.
Oh, of course
No,
not.
he wants you to beat around the bush.
I beat right into it.
Just you gotta watch.
This is turning into another Friday night show,
Yes,
just with fewer people. This is what Earl does to us. He just
I have
degrades
that.
it into. Here we go.
I fight.
Fly by the seat of our pants.
I just try to find ways to make things crazy and kooky. It's a circus.
You're looking at me like I'm supposed to
All right.
genuflect or something before you
Do
leave.
you have any last words, Deb?
Fuck Carl, dick, pussy, snot, and shit. Tonight.
Casey and the door's not right.
Sounds like dinner at my house.
Yeah, there you go.
Just, no salt, because we're trying to cut back on
Yeah,
salt.
low salt. Yeah.
No salt.
Make sure she's got her bathing suit and stuff. Got it?
Got
Make
it.
sure she's got her
Alright.
bathing
Bye,
suit and
guys.
stuff.
Have a good show.
Oh,
Okay.
and the lights go out. We are on Facebook Live. You just darkened the entire image. Thank you.
Well, hell, they might say that looks even better.
There you go.
They
well,
might.
Ellie just
They
did,
might.
so
I always go, that looks better.
there you go.
All right, guys, have a good show.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
one.
Oh. It's like I'm in the middle of a show, man. Come on.
So anyway,
That's all right. We
no,
love
I'm with you. I
you.
mean,
They're paying us for it.
as far as pet names in public, I guess where I stand with it is my interpretation of the innocence of it. So with the example of an old lady calling me sweetie or honey, I don't mind. Or in all honesty, somebody that was raised in the South their entire life,
Mm-hmm.
that's just how they talk. I get it. It doesn't bother me.
Mm-hmm.
It's the tone behind it. I definitely agree. Don't call me son. I've got one father. I had a mother. She's gone. You're not it. Don't call me son.
Right.
And I'm not going to lie. There's times where
Do you want the office left open?
yes,
No.
please.
Oh,
Yes,
yes,
please.
yes.
Interruption. There have been times where I've slipped into it to a degree,
Mhm.
but I'm not gonna lie. For some reason, darling comes out of my mouth really easily. I have no clue why. And I've gotten better at it, but I think it all comes down to the intention behind it.
Right. Yeah, and a lot of times there's innocent intention, but again, I'm gonna leave it with this. It's a level of respect because, if it's good enough for you, if it's good enough for me, it better damn well be good enough for you.
Yeah,
Okay. If you can get away with saying it, I better be able to get away with saying it.
I agree.
And if I can't, then I don't want to have to be subjected to something. And I have said in many different mediums that I would like to see a level of equality, not okay, whose turn is it to be superior to somebody else? Let's all just get along and be the same.
Well, and I think that is one case that it is,
Let's all enjoy this shake.
and anybody can, try to correct me if I'm wrong, but using terms like that in general in public, sweetie, honey, darling, men get
Blasted.
a lot more flack for it than women do.
Mhm.
Okay, and I'm kind of the perfect example. I really don't care if a woman calls me sweetie or honey. It doesn't bother me. But if I were to do it, you guarantee I'm going to get blasted.
Yeah.
I'm going to get either called out on the spot, or if it's at work, I'm going to get called before HR or whatever,
Yep.
And that is definitely a little something that's easier for women to get away with than men.
Yep.
Now, there's one key word that we really haven't touched on too much, and that's babe.
Yeah.
I think babe, unless you are actually intimate with the person,
I think babe is more of a term of endearment.
I think
Period.
it's a term of endearment, and any other time it's used, it is kind of insulting and offensive.
Right.
And even me and my wife, I didn't call her babe until I knew that she was actually comfortable with that level of pet name,
Right.
And she knows I mean nothing disrespectful by it and vice versa. But it's not something that just easily flows out of my mouth.
Yeah, stop talking about what easily flows out of your mouth. Right?
Hey, at least it flows out.
Starts flowing in, we have problems.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, I saw that and I just started thinking about, the way that people can be respectful, especially, the way that, and I think we touched on this before, but again, the way that men really have to watch themselves as far as being respectful, and this came up again. It really comes down to knowing your audience, knowing who you're talking to,
For sure.
and knowing that, hey, I can say this to this person, but I can't say it to that person because they'll get all uptight about it and start throwing up picket signs and having a big old time about it. So let's not. What else did we were going to mention, and this is fun because this is just something to kind of throw out here. But one thing I wanted to mention, and this came up in a number of different mediums, but it's worth mentioning because this is something that I just kind of it stuck in me in a number of ways.
Let's not
As
go into too much detail.
As a man, no, actually,
How
no.
it's stuck in you.
Yeah. Well, it started with a pizza delivery. She was Scandinavian. Welcome to the Pet House Forum. As a man, I think, we're talking about respect, and we're talking about respect for each other, and respect for people that we don't know, that we don't, that are strangers.
Right.
And I'm going to transcend that into respect for people that we share space with. There are a lot of different places that we share space with people, whether it's work, whether it's our community, whether it's whatever the case may be. When you're sharing space with somebody, it's a manly thing to make sure that you leave the space that you share the same way you found it,
Or better.
because I've run into a couple of instances in the past week where space that I share with other people has been, I guess, the nicest word that I can use without being too harsh is decimated. To a point where it's like, I wouldn't do this to you. I wouldn't come into our shared space and take a dump on your floor. Now, by no stretch of the imagination did I go into any shared space any space that I share with somebody and found a giant Duke on the floor. Boy, that would have started the show. That would have sharded the show. It was going to be a fart, but then I just took a dump and left it there. However, again, it shows a level of respect. I mean,
Well, it comes back to what we've talked about in the past, and honestly, so much of what we can discuss comes back to manners.
manners, yes.
Okay? And I'll be honest, most of the manners, as a man, that I learned when it comes to respecting a space, okay, wiping off the table, pushing your chair in, I didn't learn from my dad. I learned from mom at the dinner table. You don't get up from the table without pushing your chair back in. You don't just leave your chair, 5 feet away from the table. If you knock something over on the table, you clean it up. You take your trash, your dirty plate, whatever, and you clear it. And it all comes down to manners. And honestly, I think this is something that men, and women too, but as men, we need to take pride in those little things, those little showings of manners.
I just saw the chair again.
All right.
But yeah, I mean,
Speaking of manners,
well, he told me to. He said, we need to even it out. So that's what happens when you give a lactose intolerance person a milkshake. It's just, forget it.
it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. But yeah, it's, again, I feel like, this is one of those things that we as men can really be, someone who set an example, especially with our younger generation. We'd say, they look up and say, I want to be like them, and I want to I want to have the admiration they do. I want to have the I want to have what they have.
Yeah.
And it comes down to just being polite, being respectful, and being pretty.
Being pretty.
So shave your beard.
No, don't shave your beard. I
The funny thing
I
is-
do not feel pretty.
I'm going to play the song.
I
I'm
knew
going to play the
song
song
again.
again. The more people we have tuning in, that song's going to get on there again.
I'm waiting for that one again. I'm waiting for Babyface.
Ooh.
Uh,
Every day, every Thursday this month's going to be a new. I was going to play "Beautiful" by I have no idea who it is, but "You're Beautiful, You're Beautiful." I don't. I'm not going to sing anymore.
it might just be your tone, but I can't place that one.
But the ironic thing is I have not shaved since Thursday morning of last week when Raleigh was going to to do henna for me. But
Prior to shaving this beard off, I had not shaved in 8 years.
well, there you go. It was 8 years of,
It was painful.
and now it's all over the driveway.
No, I swept it up. Which goes back to leaving a space as clean or
Leaving it.
cleaner
There you go.
than when you first found it.
I'm still. I keep going off camera here and off mic because I have this giant puddle of condensation, just a little bit
You
too
keep
uncomfortable.
hoping that there's more milkshake and magically appear. That's what you're doing.
There's two things. One, I don't want to leave the table wet. Two, I don't want to get it anywhere near the board. So I'm trying to alleviate that, and I have no napkins here. So, and no, of all the bags of crappy food, not crappy food, just junk food,
Just junk
junk food. Thank you. Not a napkin in sight. So I'm like hand wiping. Just okay, my hand's wet. So now my pant leg is wet.
But-
all this other crap.
We will clean up our space when we leave tonight.
Yeah,
Like that's what men do.
like I'm doing now with my wrist. I'm practically using my elbow to clean up this table. Oh, goodness.
But no, I mean, there's so much that comes back to manners, and honestly, that's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was raised, you don't go to somebody's house and destroy it.
Right.
You know, as kids, if you did go to somebody's house and destroy it, you cleaned up the mess. What's got you?
I'm just thinking back to last Sunday
Oh, when
when everybody was over at my house and the kids just completely.
destroyed
But
your
the-
freaking.
What that's the thing though is that we have that playroom set up, and I'm supposed to talk in this specific part of the week. We have that playroom set up specifically for. All right, this is the playroom. This is the toy room.
Right?
Fuck it up. Just go nuts. Take toys out, tile them up. I remember when we were done watching the movie, we looked over and I'm like, where the hell is the floor?
Yeah.
There was no floor. Those kids just absolutely, they went nuts and they had fun. And I'm
They
like,
had a blast.
and yes, they cleaned it up before they all of them, well, as much as Bella could help, but they cleaned it up afterwards. But I'm just thinking back to it, it's like, at some point, I don't think there was a toy in a container
Oh, no.
anywhere.
They all hit the floor at one point.
That's what I was laughing at. I'm like, we managed to take out every toy.
But, like I was kind of saying when you started laughing, we were raised when you go to a house and you do destroy it, you clean it up.
Right.
And number one, that just doesn't happen anymore. And there can be a whole conversation on parenting and everything nowadays and the lack thereof it. But kids don't learn that.
Right.
Like they used to, like we used to. And it's starting to show in men, in younger men, young men like the teens to the 18s to the 20s and even into the 30s. It's really starting to show that you miss these simple lessons and manners growing up. And it's only getting worse. It really is.
I can look through just about any story in the news right now and think back to, you could not have been raised right.
No.
You could not have been raised right to do what you're doing. Because I see a lot of just really stupid stuff going on. And a lot of it comes down to a lot. I mean, it's funny, I'm going to do a lot of reminiscing because tomorrow I'm leaving for Toledo to go to my high school reunion. This is the 30th high school reunion. I graduated from high school 30 years ago. I am an old bastard.
Tell me an old.
And a lot of times when we do talk, we talk about a lot of the things that are going on now. And these things just didn't happen back then.
No, they didn't.
They didn't happen in when we were going to school. We didn't hear about these kind of things happening because there was a difference in how we were raised
Oh yeah.
and who was raising us. I think the advent of the single parent started in the 80s because this is when people started to think, hey, till death do us part came with an asterisk.
Right.
Okay, and people were getting married 5, 6, 7 times over. In the 60s and 70s, you just gutted it out.
Yep.
And I can think back to the end of my first marriage where I thought, this just sucks, but I'm going to gut it out.
Yeah.
And eventually, gutting it out was making everybody involved more miserable. So, how much of that did we learn from? How much of that did we not learn from?
Right.
Now, having said that, I didn't let it affect the way that my kids were raised. I'm thankfully, knock on Formica, I guess this is what this is made of.
Something like it.
I'm not seeing, my son in the news
No.
doing stupid stuff, and I'm not getting that phone call from the police department phone number isn't coming up on my caller ID saying, hey, I need bail money.
Right.
I leave that to my sister. Oh, good, she's not watching it.
Well, I mean, if you think back to even the way some things, go into any store right now.
Right.
Any store. And at some point, you're going to see a kid losing their shit, and mom or dad doesn't know what to do. And I've always remembered this. A comedian said once, and it has stuck with me because it was so true. I never made it into the store. My mom or my dad had that conversation with me in the parking lot. And it typically went along the lines of, we're about to go in the store. If you do this, if you do that, if you embarrass me, I'm going to beat your ass, drag you back out to the car. It happened before I ever got in the store. So the minute I walked into the store, I was scared for my life. But again, go into any store now, and you'll see a kid losing their shit over God knows what,
Mm-hmm.
and the parents don't know what to do. Our parents stopped that before it happened, and they weren't afraid to do that.
Being a special needs parent, I have become very good at being able to spot the difference between a meltdown,
Mm-hmm.
which is I am in a situation I do not know how to process. I have no choice but to lose my shit because it's the only way I can actually process what's going on to me. And God damn it, I wanted a bag of Just Green M&Ms. Where the fuck are they?
Yep.
Give them to me now, or I'm just going to tear this place apart like Frankie Muniz. There's a difference, and to John Q. Public, it's the same thing.
Agreed.
And to no fault, because a child acting up is a child acting up. Okay, you're not going when you're trying to do what what you went into the store to do, and you're trying to avoid the screaming child because, thank God it's not my child. Congratulations, it's not your child. Good luck. But for the parent that has to deal with that child, the first thing I look at is, let me look. No, that's a brat.
Yeah.
You are on your own. And I will turn a blind eye if you decide to swat him upside the head with an iPad.
Right.
to, no, that child's having a sensory issue. Give them a giant hug, give them, a chicken nugget, or take them outside, or
Yeah.
do something where whatever they can't process, they can start to process again.
Well, and you just kind of touched on one. I know exactly what you're talking about. Obviously, I've got a handicapped child, but there's one thing that my parents did that I still do to this day, and you even touched on it. If all else fails, take your kid outside.
Mhm.
Go do, whether it's they're being a brat or it is a sensory issue, take them outside and deal with it how it has to be dealt with. Not
Mhm.
necessarily, I'm not saying do this to appease everybody in the store. When we're talking about a kid with a sensory issue,
Mhm.
go be one-on-one with your kid, okay? Go work through it together, okay? Because you don't need to work your way through it with everybody staring at you. It's
Right.
just going to stress you out, and then it's going to get worse. If it's a kid that's just being a brat, take that little brat outside of the store and threaten them to within an inch of their life, like my dad did to me. And those are the ways that kids learn, yeah, this ain't going to work, Or if it's a sensory issue, those are the ways that you can work through it calmly and then go about your day. But people like us, people in our situation, have had to learn sometimes what we plan today to be isn't always going to be. And we've got to take those little routes.
And one thing that,
Hey, Aaron Quebec.
hey, look, I did put it back on my phone so I can keep an eye on it too. One thing that has kind of really stuck in my craw with the whole thing is that there is a difference between discipline and abuse.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
There has been over the last 20, 30 years an ever increasing gray area where there was once a very definitive line,
Yes.
okay, between discipline and abuse. And disciplining you and beating you crap out of you. We knew which was which.
Right.
And, we've gotten to a point where it's like, well, one person's discipline is another person's abuse.
Right.
It can be said that if you talk sternly to a child, that's mental abuse.
Yeah.
Okay, calm down, glorious time. Let's reel it back in here a bit, okay? The truth of the matter is that, and I'm looking for the way to say this where it will make sense to the people that it needs to make sense to. There is there is a need to have that discipline. There is a need to say, look, you're up.
Yep.
I'm stepping in. Straighten up, fly right. Okay. Thankfully, with both my kids to this point, I have not had to do so in a physical manner.
Right.
Because I can get scary enough just raising my voice. And they're like, damn, all right, let's circle this back around, okay? But I'm fortunate. And it still comes back to what we're doing to raise our next generation to have, to be the type of people we want them to be, okay? And it all, where I'm going into this, all comes back into raising them right, teaching them manners, teaching them respect, teaching them that no, doing the things that you're seeing being done in the news is wrong. Don't go out and do this. We talk about acting up and acting out and trying to see what we can get away with. Well, I'm going to show you where that line is.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show you what happens when you cross that line.
Well, the comment was made that they respectfully disagree that fear does not teach respect, it teaches fear. And I'm going to agree that fear does teach fear. But when we're talking about incorporating a level of fear into normal, what we would all consider good parenting, respect comes, okay? My dad taught me how to fear him. I never feared him until much later in life, and some drastic things happened. But as a kid, yeah, I feared my dad, but I respected my dad because on the one hand, yes, I knew if I acted like an idiot, Dad was going to be mad. He never laid his hands on me at that age, but Dad was going to be mad. And I was scared of it. But I also knew that my dad loved me. I also knew that, my dad was going to comfort me when I was, scared of the monster in my closet. And it's the combination of all those things that leads to a child respecting their parents.
Right.
So
Because-
while I agree that fear teaches fear, fear when used right in accordance with other things, it's part of the Batman tool belt that teaches kids how to be good kids and later on good adults.
Because if you're teaching your kids to be afraid of you all of the time,
Yeah,
then you're doing something
you're
wrong.
doing something wrong, and
You're
that's
doing something
completely
very
different.
wrong.
Okay.
If you're teaching your kids to be afraid of you when they're screwing up, to say, "Oh shit, I screwed up. Dad is off the chain," but it's because of what I did. Every other time, everything's good and right, and I don't have to be afraid of him because he's not mad.
Yeah,
Then you're doing something right.
exactly.
So yes, fear is a teaching tool.
It is. And my daughter, my oldest daughter,
Fear does teach fear.
my oldest daughter, she fears me. Not every day, not all the time. She knows that she can laugh and joke and be an idiot with Dad. But there's that tone where all of a sudden you see the look on her face and it becomes, oh shit, I just crossed the line. And she knows it. I don't use fear as a weapon. I don't use fear to hold her down or hold her back. But she definitely knows there's a line that I'm not going to tolerate you crossing. And she's afraid to cross that line. And again, it helps lead her towards that being a respectful human path, So I respectfully agree and disagree that fear can be a useful tool if used properly. And in fairness, we don't always use it properly. We all lose our shit. Every parent does, no matter how good you think you are. We've all lost our shit at some point or another and went too far with one of our kids or both of our kids. It happens. But I'm talking about the parents that on a regular basis go out of their way to try to do things right. There's a lot of tools you can use that people tend to look down on these days that if used correctly, you're going to have a good kid. And later on, you're going to have a good adult.
Absolutely. Well, on that note, we're going to play some music.
All right.
Do you feel pretty?
I feel pretty.
Do you feel pretty?
Thankfully, a lot of people on Facebook yesterday made me feel pretty.
So we got
They
that.
told me I'm
out
handsome and beautiful and pretty and
So
all this BS.
I'm actually going to move one up here. I wanted to. What I did with the playlists this week is I actually wanted to incorporate some new music.
All right.
Some new music that had come out within the last couple of weeks. So we got some new stuff here coming up from Panic at the Disco.
Ooh,
Good stuff.
good stuff.
They are coming to town in January. The cheap seats are like $200. Muse is playing tonight in Cleveland Heights at Cedar Lee. I found out about this from a friend. I was like, I hate you. He's like, why? I'm like, because Muse is coming to town tomorrow night. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I do my show on
Do my
Tuesday
show.
nights. Like, oh, you're going to miss it. I'm like, that's why I hate you.
Yep.
But anyways, Panic at the Disco, Maroon 5, All Time Low. And a interesting cover of Def Leppard. It's what I like to refer to as the campfire version of Pour Some Sugar. I think you're going to get a kick out of
That
this.
should be interesting.
But this one I'm going to start out with, goes out to my darling wife, Michelle.
Oh, thank God. I thought you were going to play that stupid song again.
No, this one, yeah, you absolutely hate this song. But this one here is going to go out to my darling wife, Michelle, who's on Facebook Live, but probably not listening, so she won't have to be subjected to it.
Probably not listening
Ladies and
anymore.
gentlemen, you're listening to Manpocalypse on the SKO Radio Network. Here's Hanson and Mbop.
Mbop.
She fucking hates this song with a passion. So that's why I introduced it, because I'm like, you're not going to listen to the show on the air. I have to clear out some of my trash. Do you want these fries? These look like,
Good for the moment.
I'm telling you, these are. Oh, this all have to be. I'm going to clear out some of my trash here. Garbage run. Enjoy the scenery. We will be back in just a moment. You guys see the thing is? Michelle is telling me that I'm number one. Thank you, dear. I love you too. Two, three, four. So if I'm looking at this correctly, we have 4 more instance. 19th, the 26th, the 2nd, and the 9th. I have 4 Facebook notifications, but I can't look at it. So I'm looking at the live video.
Now,
I can do that.
starting next week, when we're on Thursday still,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to cut out of here at 9:30.
Okay.
What I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna call in because I gotta drive to work.
Okay.
So that way I can still close the show with you. I just won't physically be
I do actually have people from my reunion watching it on Facebook Live, which is kind of cool. Oh.
So unless you got something already cooked up, I think I'm gonna continue
Mhm.
with the parenting tools
Okay.
and actually open it up, see if
I
anybody
really-
wants to call in.
I really have no. Those were really kind of the 2 things I was really winging it for topics this week.
I do have another one. Kind of, the whole somebody tell me I'm pretty thing.
Mm.
But, it was a joke. But there's some truth there to a degree, because I think a lot of guys get to a point where you just want to know that you still got it, no matter what it is,
Mhm. I can build off of that.
I think I'm going to start with the parenting tools and invite people to call in and politely discuss.
love Deb, but every time I hear this announcement, I keep thinking you really should have asked me to do this. You have the voiceover ability of, well, that. Which, let's face it. Oh shit! I have to look for an outro song. Where is it? Damn it. I am okay. And that's why we don't talk about the news. Jesus Christ! 3 promos in a row. Well, it's yours, so.
Yeah, this one needs redone.
Do you have a script in mind, or do you just need it flat out redone?
Just flat out redone. It was a fly by the seat of your pants script to begin with. Kind of like, oh, I get a radio spot.
Do you want to re-script it, or do you want me to do it? I just want me to come up with something and shoot it to you first.
Yeah, give it a shot.
Just don't give me a shot. If I do it, you're gonna love it.
If they're
My shit is tight. What's funny is friggin'
hey, my model's watching.
Earl said he liked my spots, but I don't see any of them playing in rotation. I'm like, you know what? I don't know.
We'll be back on in a minute.
Oh no, we still have one more song after this.
Okay, like 4 minutes, 5. Right now, just watch us talk to ourselves.
6. I'm actually losing my shit here. You're looking for something. I'm like, I passed it already.
I can't find it.
Just scrolling through shit.
Oh, we've only got, what, 19,000 songs to scroll through? 30,000 of them.
My alarm went off this morning, woke everybody. It's like 4:30 in the morning. I just went to bed. The first thing I think is I need to make sure this doesn't go off to I think
Hey, Facebook Live, just letting you know, we're going to open the lines here in a few minutes for you to call in and tell me how dumb I am. And since Aaron asked earlier, there's the hair.
yeah, we're gonna talk about that full Monty performance later. Or I'm sorry, were you talking to Mike? You want him
Michelle.
to do the full Monty?
Wow. That's your husband. You should be ashamed. Besides, wouldn't it be creepy now that I look like a kid? Just saying.
I had a pair of Batman pajamas that were like the one piece, but adult size. They did not fit me very well, but they fit me just well enough. Leave it to the imagination.
Yeah.
I put these on. I walked into the bedroom. I said, I feel like a sexy toddler. She said two things. She said, never say that out loud again. Never wear those fucking pajamas. I gave him the sand. No, he can look like a sexy toddler. Here's the tough leopard cover I was telling you about.
Whoa.
Maybe. Oh, Ellie's getting the claws out. All right.
Ellie always rides that fine line between like insulting.
Appropriate and damn.
I love Ellie. I am not sure if any of you are actually listening right now. Tell me what you think of this song, because I'm not sure how I feel about it.
It picks up in the chorus. The stanzas are off, but it picks up in the chorus. I'm going to adjust this just a bit here.
Thanks, Earl.
Stick it sweet, my head to my feet. That video is actually in my Facebook somewhere. I can dig that up for you. I'll tell you what. I'll dig that video up and put it on the Manpocalypse Facebook page.
Does it have music
They played.
to it?
They played.
It might get silenced.
You're right. It might. Well, no. It's well. We'll see what happens because it's got the music and it's on my Facebook page.
Oh, wow.
So. But we were at Sonic and they were playing, I can't remember which song from Full Monty it was, but I was bopping along and she started playing, so I started bopping along with the middle fingers up. Yeah, Taylor Swift is actually going to be in town playing a stadium show next weekend.
Woohoo!
Yeah, you know what? Actually, I don't even think it's a weekend. I think it's during the week. It is Fuck Bunnies. It is on a Tuesday night. It's Tuesday the 17th.
Fuck bunnies.
And the reason that it kind of pisses me off is I have to try to come home from downtown while this is all going on.
That's one of the only benefits to being poor is when my daughter says, "Can we go see Taylor Swift?" Nope, Daddy's broke.
Yankees have tied it. It's a 3-3. It's top of the fourth. Oh, hey. I guess I should turn the mics on since the song's over.
Since we're back,
We are back with the Manpocalypse radio show here in the SKL Radio Network. Hey, management is gone. We're going to leave the door wide open. Thank God. Dun, dun, dun.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yes, actually, Michelle's comment here. Did you guys hear about this Build-A-Bear Pay Your Age Day and how there was an 8-hour wait in line? I actually read
Yes.
that Build-A-Bear had to suspend the Pay Your Age Day because lines and security and safety got way out of hand. And of course, when you say you're going to do something and then you realize you can't because logistics were,
get angry.
people went off on Build-A-Bear. And I'm thinking to myself, actually one of the comments on top of the comment, there was one comment where this woman was just lit into Build-A-Bear. You should have thought of this, and you're disappointing your customers. What you should have done was for members. And the comment was, when you read the fine print, it said, "While supplies last."
Right.
D. And hey, let's talk about first world problems. You didn't get your bear, you poor thing.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, those things. Here's the thing, though. Those Build-A-Bears, they're. I turned my volume down because I didn't want Facebook to pick it up. Now I can't hear myself talk. Those Build-A-Bears are generally anywhere between 20 when they're on sale to upwards of like $40.
Oh, they're unreal.
But
I've got $200 worth of Build-A-Bear in my house, and I think 3 bears. It's unreal.
I had, when Sam used to be really into Build-A-Bear. He was huge into it. Every time I went to the mall, he had a new obscure relative he needed to Build-A-Bear for.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to sell blood and semen for me to be able to afford this.
Can I get one for Uncle Tommy's neighbor's cousin?
He had cousins he had seen once at a party that his mom took him to. I was like, I need to make a bear for a cousin. Jesus.
What's the cousin's name?
No, he would tell me the cousin's name, and I'm just like,
I don't even know that kid.
Yeah, let me run down to the bank and see if I can get a small business loan. So when they came out with this and said, we want to, you can pay your age. I'm like, okay, well, for someone like me, I'm kind of foobar.
Yeah, no.
Because I'm actually spending more money. But, hey, I'll drag my 6-year-old and save a few bucks. But, yeah, from what I understood, there were lines and just big crowds, and it got out of hand. Yeah. And Build-A-Bear said, hey, we're suspending this because we can't deal with the safety hazard. We can't deal with the security hazard. We're going to we're going to figure something out, and we're going to do something else to honor this idea that we had. But we're not going to do it this way. Right. We can't. We're just shutting it off. And people lost their shit.
Oh, yeah. Well, of course they did.
People absolutely lost their shit. We are going to open the phone lines up here in just a moment, 330-871-4422. That number again is 330-871-4422. We did want to save a really, really big, huge announcement for the middle of the show, which is now. The Manpocalypse radio show on the SKL Radio Network.
In case you're not sure, that's us.
That's us. Is going to be dun dun dun.
Oh no!
What are you guys talking about? We are going to be switching to Saturday nights, starting Saturday, August 16th. We're going to be on Thursday 4 more times,
and then Saturdays.
And then we're going to be moving to Saturday, same time, 7 to 10 p.m. But Saturday nights. We're going to follow the Game Jam show, yes. Casey Church and his video game music show. We're going to come in right behind that, but that's going to start in August. Now, I can tell you that much. That's about it. Stay tuned to the SKO Radio Network Facebook page for other big, huge news as to why. There's a big reason why, but we're not going to tell you. But stay tuned. Big news coming up the horizon. So big, the Manpocalypse, the other big show on the SKO Radio Network, said no. We are going to move to Saturdays. And that's going to take place in August. So enjoy the Thursday nights for now. and then enjoy the Saturday nights. Saturday nights more,
And hey,
because, on Saturday nights, the liquor is cheaper.
liquor's cheaper when you're having that little family cookout.
Mm-hmm.
Just turn on SKO, 7 o'clock, let all your friends and family listen in.
And did you want to tell them about starting next week?
Starting next week. I forgot already.
No.
Starting next week, I shaved for my new job, and I will have to leave the studio at 9:30 to go to my job.
He's going to be a male stripper, and they need him in costume by 10.
Nobody would pay for that.
So, I don't know. I think Cassie would.
Cassie wouldn't pay for that.
I would pay Cassie to pay for that.
Thank you.
Make you feel better.
But what I'm
So
going to do
I'm going to be left all by myself for the last hour of the show.
which
Sure that
I'm going to call in
for the next
and
4
finish
weeks.
the show.
Well, see, that's.
But it all depends on whether or not he answers.
I'm not going to tell him this just yet, but I may not even pick up the phone.
I kind of figured.
I'll just let it run. So for the next 4 weeks, we will continue to be on Thursdays, but the last hour will be the just one Manpocalypse, the solo run, an hour of me talking to myself. Woohoo!
A half hour.
Um,
A half hour.
Hour, half hour. I'll give you a little bit, whatever you need. And then, starting in August, we will move to Saturday. I almost said
Screw you,
Sunday.
Michelle. Screw you, Michelle.
That's my job.
Well,
I don't even get to do that anymore.
she called me Mike Haig Malkoff.
Yeah,
That was hateful
That was
and hurtful.
it's a sensitive issue over here.
I still love you.
He's still feeling a way about the whole mall cup thing, but we still love Blart. I mean, Mike over here. So
Hey, I've embraced it. I got 2 little badges that say security. Got an actual metal
he
badge.
grabs his nipples. when he
Well,
says
no,
that.
not my nipples. Up here. They're going to go right here on my collar. I got a badge and a whistle. I feel safe and
that's
secure.
that's what I was saying. What I was saying before. It's like you're basically a Bobby.
I'm a Bobby.
Stop!
Or I'll
Or I'll say
again.
stop again. Don't run over there. I'll yell louder.
If I can, without my insignias showing up on Facebook, I'll be on Facebook in uniform next week.
Yeah, that's kind of tough.
Well, the badge doesn't say the name of the company, so that's okay.
Oh, okay.
I just got to figure out a way to, block out the shoulders.
You have to find a way to block out your shoulders.
Yeah, because
These are the kind of shoulders that make muggers cry, and you want to block them out. Good luck.
I know, right?
Anyway, so those are the big things that we wanted to lead into the hour with our announcement that we're moving to Saturdays. Mike's letting me play by myself. By myself, Ellie, not with. She's a vixen tonight.
She is.
I think they're
She actually did say that she always thought our show should be on Saturday.
well, there you go.
So this could be a good thing.
I think we mentioned that now that we're back from the break here, that you wanted to talk in a little bit more about the parenting that we were talking about.
Yeah, I wanted to keep that going because there's so many things about parenting and so many different tools and ways you can do things, and I didn't want to come off as my way is right and someone else's way is wrong. My way is definitely not always right, but there's obviously differences of opinions, and honestly, one of the things I think it comes down to is a good parent learns what's going to work with each individual child and what's not. And they utilize whatever tools they have to get that end result of a good, respectable human being. So I wanted to keep going with that, but I wanted to open the lines, invite anybody to call in and politely share your opinions and discuss it with us and see where it goes.
Right, because and to kind of bounce off of what Mike had just said, there's no one absolute perfect way to parent.
No, not at all.
I just found out today that one of the people that I work with is expecting in November, and they're expecting their first. And it was a very fruitful conversation because it kind of stemmed from another conversation we were having about work stuff, and I tried to share I'm thinking of two things at once, my parenting expertise, but what I did from there was kind of just talk about my experiences with parenting,
Right.
and how it ended up working for me. And it worked for me and for my partner, or partners, as the case are, and for our children. It just happened to be a good marriage of ideas. Is it going to work for you and your kids? Maybe, maybe not. But, again, it's going to be a lot of different things. We're going to let Ellie in on the conversation here. And I have to reach all the way over here to unmute. And Ellie's going to teach us all about how to be a parent, because she is certainly smarter than either of us put together.
Of course.
Ellie, you're on the air. Make us smart.
No.
I love how she says, and she takes everything that we say personally. Sweetie,
Ellie,
if
you're
we
fine.
have anything to say to you, we're going to direct it to right to you, because let's face it, you are our favorite this week.
No, that was not aimed at you. That was aimed at anybody that might be ready to rip my head off.
Because let's face it, again, this is the kind of thing that can invoke emotional conversation. That someone will stand up and say, you know what? No, you're wrong, Manpocalypse. This is how you should raise children. And go from there. So that's why we wanted to make sure that we kept it as a polite conversation.
Exactly. It had nothing to do with anybody personally. So what's your take on it, Ellie? Agreed. Right? Yeah. There is a difference. I am not ashamed to say that I have spanked both of my children. I never did it more than, and I won't even call it spanking. It was a swat is what it was. Right on the butt, never more than twice.
Keep going. I'm working on that. Nope. Keep going.
He's working on it. No, it's okay. But no, I have spanked my kids. Again, never forcefully and never with the intent of causing pain. We good?
We're good. Michelle, I think it's because if you're listening on Facebook Live, you're not going to hear anybody from Skype. We cannot play the monitors on the air on Facebook Live because of licensing. If you want to hear what people are saying over the phone, you do have to tune in. So
One of the
No, that's
we're gonna
fine.
keep going.
That's fine.
But one of the easiest ways, folks, is to
Listen to the show on the air, either through the website or the TuneIn app, while watching Facebook Live. Just remember, there's going to be a bit of a delay. So when you see our mouths move and not saying the same things, it's like watching Japanese anime. It's cool.
So typically a phone and a laptop's the way to go. But no, like I was saying, I have definitely swatted both of my kids' butts. Never out of pure anger, never, hard and repeatedly, just enough to get their attention. And I've never had a problem with that. Now, me growing up, I got the belt, I got the paddle, I got the wooden spoon, My grandma made me go pick a switch off the tree, and if the switch wasn't big enough or thick enough, I had to go pick another one. I got my ass beat as a kid.
I got thrown into a door.
There is a difference. And I will even go so far as to say, as much as I got my ass beat as a kid, it was never abuse. It was never to the face. It was never to the head. It was never to the back or legs. It was always my little white ass. Okay, yeah. Yeah, and I definitely think there's instances where certain things are deserved, but even what we're talking about right now, spanking, things like that, it's such a hot spot with so many people, and I think it comes down to, like we've already said, everybody's got their own way of doing things. Everybody's got what they're going to do and what they're not. And I honestly think we all go into being a parent for the first time with all these great ideals of what we're going to do and what we're not going to do. But the good parents figure out what works and what doesn't. And they stick to it, whether other people like it or not. And that's kind of where I stand on using things like a little bit of fear, or raising your voice, or spanking your kid, or for me, forget the timeout. You're getting grounded to your room with nothing like I got, because a timeout putting me in front of a wall would have never worked as a kid, and it's not going to work on my kids. Oh yeah. I actually watched a special. It was an Anthony Bourdain show, and he was talking to people from of Korean descent, and they talked about, he went to maybe 5 or 6 different people, and I forget the term he used, but he brought up this term, and each of these people did the same hand motion, and it was a punishment where, as a kid, if you did something wrong, you would have to hold something over your head for an extended period of time. And it's all these people knew what it was, and it was so embedded in their culture. I mean, it was unreal. You could just say the word and everybody knew exactly what was being talked about. But that comes back to parenting of all kinds is different. And at least here in America, we get scrutinized for every little thing we do as a parent. It makes it really hard. Right? Yeah.
We had a situation like that here locally within the last couple of months. And I'm using air quotes here, parents were just sentenced to the termination of their living privileges because of the abuse they inflicted upon the child. So yeah, I mean, it happens a lot of places, and there's like I said, there's at one point in time, not too long ago, there was a line between discipline and abuse, and you knew where that line was, and as parents, you didn't cross it. Unfortunately, with the landscape of this society and the way that this society views things, that line has become a very, very large gray area where yep. But there are people what the point that I was trying to make is that there are people out there who are trying to tell you that even spanking is abusive, and even talking to a child in a stern voice or yelling at a child is abusive, and you should have child services come to your home and rip your family apart, and you have to kind of draw the line and what is you're looking at what is one person's view of abuse versus one person's view of discipline. I'm not causing undue harm. I'm not this isn't a medical emergency. This isn't something where the child is going to suffer or in worst cases die to what I'm doing. But you seem to think and you seem to want the local government to think that I'm an unfit parent because I was yelling at my child.
I've actually got a good story, a good example of this. And I will preface this by saying, we know our kids, okay? We know when they're truly scared of something or when they're acting a certain way to get out of being in trouble, or they don't want the lecture or whatever. Okay, we know when they're acting out versus when they're actually scared. Years ago, I was at my in-laws, and they've got a set of stairs that goes up, to their second floor.
Every story is a good story when it starts out with, I was at my in-laws.
Right. But my daughter had been playing. She'd been sitting at the middle step up, okay? So everything below her was lit up, everything above her was pitch black. But she had been sitting on the stairs, playing with her little dolls, acting like nothing was wrong. And then about 20 minutes later, I can't even remember what happened, but I had to pull my daughter out of the room. I took her halfway up the stairs, I set her down, and that's where I decided to have my little dad conversation with her and tell her she was doing wrong. Well, she just wanted to go back to playing, so she started acting like she was terrified of the dark upstairs. Never mind the fact that she had been playing with that darkness for 20 minutes. But now all of a sudden it bothered her. So she threw a holy fit. My in-laws treated me like I was abusing the living hell out of my child mentally because I refused to give in to the fact that she said she was scared when she clearly wasn't. She just wanted to get away from being in trouble. So that's where that's a totally different topic. We'll go there another day. But that's one. No, I know. But that's where I think I can understand what Aaron's coming from about there being a massive gray area between what's abuse and what isn't. Because what I was doing was, to any normal person, would not clearly be abuse at all. But to them it was. And it's got us to the point as parents where I think a lot of parents are actually afraid to do anything because they don't know what someone else is going to do. They don't know what someone else is going to say that may get their kids taken away from them.
And now, to shed a much more interesting light on the subject at hand, and is this going to be a fun drive for me home tonight? Let's welcome in the lovely, the charming, yes, I am buttering your ass up, Michelle. Join on in and tell me how wrong I am this time, dear.
No, it's all me. Oh, here it goes.
See, she thought, this was all just the build up, and she's like, no, now listen. All of our really, all of the conversations where I'm in really big trouble start off with her saying, now listen, just like that. I'm Fubar. Go for it. Mm-hmm.
Right. Absolutely.
Right. I'm sorry. I had to laugh at what you said. Our child takes things literally. The giant flashing no shit sign blinking in both of our heads right now. Mike and I both were like, yeah. Think? Piper takes things literal.
Oh, so literally.
Oh my God.
Fire away.
Cortisone. She needs injections in her back now. Cortisol. Okay, so she needs steroids. Cortisol. I'm sorry, it sounded like a steroid.
Okay.
So you're swimming in it.
Agreed. Agreed.
And to a point, Michelle, it sounds so far that you've very eloquently made the exact point that Mike was making here. In that, there is that line of discipline and abuse, and furthermore, what may work for one child does not necessarily work for another. I mean, what he can say to what he can do to make his children understand, dad is now angry. You have passed that breaking point. Is can be leaps and bounds different to okay, angry daddy, as Bella likes to put it. I'm old. I got fine lines everywhere.
Right.
And see now you're delving into the notion of public discipline, which can take on connotations of its own.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I kind of want to specify, a comment that I made earlier. When my kids get spanked, which honestly it doesn't happen anymore with Kaylee. She's outgrown that period of time, and
She spanks back.
yeah, she spanks back. And Piper's a monster. She would pick up a chair and beat me with it. But
Piper will make you pick her up so she can spank you.
yes, but Piper, and here again, even with Piper spanking her, I think in 6 years I've swatted her little butt 3 times, and with her it was always just a simple little quick one swat on the butt. And it wasn't even to tell her she did something wrong. It was to get her attention for a moment. But to be clear, when these things happened, it was never in public. It was not in a store. It was not in a restaurant. It was not at someone's house. It was at my house or in the car, away from everybody. And that comes down to, what was that?
Ellie chimed in.
Because you're trying to steamroll me. I get it.
Yeah, I'm feeling the corner you're backing him into over here. Kind of like how I talked at it before, where it's like, okay, now I need to find out, is that a meltdown, or is your child, do you need to take your child back behind the store and
Right.
show them where the milk crates are?
No. I'm not disagreeing.
I went to that one store, you know that really great store on
Mhm.
Melrose? I went to that store and there was a baby there and he was looking up at me and he was judging me. If I had that on demand as a soundbite, I'd have just played it. But I did my best, Catherine Zeta-Jones, as well as I could.
Well, there's two things I want to touch on that you said real quick before we go to our next break. Number one, and this is something that you and I and Aaron, we all do because we do have kids with special needs. And we tend to sympathize a little bit faster than we do judge. Because we've been through some of the worst meltdowns. And a lot of times, I think the good in us tries to assume that's what's happening, even when it's, dare I use this term, and please don't crucify me for this, I struggle with it, but even when it's a normal kid just acting like a brat, we still almost try to sympathize because we know what it's like to have a kid that cannot control that. And that just adds to the complication all around because now, children with special needs has become, I'm not going to say it happens more often. I'm going to say it's obviously, more out there in the open. Okay, it's something that people.
There's more awareness.
There's more awareness. That
We're
was
still
the word I was
working
looking
on
for.
acceptance, but there's more awareness.
Okay, so like I said, the judging and what happens outside. There's so many complicated sides to it, and I think it's going to get a little bit worse before it gets better, to be honest. The other point I wanted to make had to do with, and I'm just going to say it this way for Aaron's sake, was the cortisone. I know what you said.
Hey, I've got a question. I've got a question about the cortisol, real quick, and this is directed specifically at Michelle, who brought up the cortisol. I'm just curious. Do we have a ballpark figure of how much cortisol you're currently swimming in? I'm only wondering because I'm figuring if I can balance that out with like wine and chocolate, I should be okay. But I need to know how much.
I'm swimming in about 12 feet of cortisol. So where do you think you're at, Michelle? All right.
Are we talking like deep end of the kiddie
Yeah,
pool
we're swimming
or
in the
like
deep
Lake
end.
fucking Erie? Okay, so skip the wine, just go straight to the liquor store for you tonight.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take.
Let me finish my point real
I'm
quick.
sorry, he's got to finish his point.
I totally get what you were saying with that, and I totally understand where you were coming from. But that's another fine line that we have to watch is we cannot be afraid to stress our kids out a little bit. Because stress is something you learn from. And again, it's a fine line. And I agree, every time you beat your kid's ass, you're stressing them the hell out. But that 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 swats that's going to tell them they're wrong, if done correctly, is going to be the kind of stress that's going to teach them something. And it's such a fine line that it's so hard to walk it. And I don't want you to think that I'm arguing you or disagreeing with you. It's just I felt that
he's
had to
letting
come
his
up.
cortisol show. That's
My
basically-
cortisol's coming out.
Yeah, lots of it.
Whoa! Hey!
Hey! Da 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 da. Ellie has just completely tuned out. She's just like, okay, those two are gonna go at it. I figured you just like, okay, this is gonna be really bad. I'm taking notes because this is how to get Aaron to shut up.
What was
I'm
that?
sorry?
Absolutely.
All right. We're gonna jump into a break real quick here. I'm gonna leave both of you here unless you dive off. We're gonna take a quick
Stay on
break.
the lines.
Stay on the lines. This next song here, and well, you know the numbers on the fridge. You can't
Redial.
This you missed out on the Hanson, sweetheart. So feel fortunate. Now I know that the other Michelle doesn't even bother listening, and that's fine. I don't care. But the start of this next break goes out specifically to her for yeah. This is for the first Michelle and the ignition that won't work. You're listening to the Manpocalypse on the SKO Radio Network.
Hey, Shane, we'll be back in a couple minutes. Don't go anywhere, buddy. It's the end of the world.
All right, Ellie, Michelle, I had to cut you off because you were still bleeding into the music and I couldn't get that to cut off. Give us a call back when we come back from the break and we'll pick up where we left off. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Drive safe, Shane. No, actually, we're live, doing the Facebook Live off my MacBook, and that was a message that came in. But yeah, I mean, I'm fat. I'll eat whenever a bell goes off. They're enjoying my chair dancing. I think they're enjoying it a little too much. I gotta get Ellie and Michelle in the same room together. I'm fucked. It's just the end of it.
Such a good chair dancer.
I like to jiggle my junk. What can I say? Probably not that.
You're fine, Ellie.
What'd she say?
They weren't that bad.
Shh. Okay. Why? This Facebook message. I'm chatting with the person who told me about the Muse concert tonight. If she didn't go, obviously she's on Facebook Messenger. So I said, well, there's always a Taylor Swift concert next week. It said, send music from Taylor Swift through Spotify. I'm like, why would I want to do something
I don't
that's
want to do that.
I wouldn't even want to do that if I didn't say anything about Taylor Swift.
I hate how Messenger's like, oh, do you want to send them this? No, I'd have sent it.
It's like Netflix recommendations all over again. You watch one episode of Will and Grace, and then you're stuck with Queer Eye for.
I think there should be a
year.
filter of some kind. If you are above the age of 35.
No, see, this is somebody I work with. So I would say out loud in my own head, I would pay to see that.
Right?
I would not type that out. Because I will end up in front of HR. Oh, I need 2 more songs.
It's not ads in Messenger, Ellie. It's
Suggestions.
Suggestions. So if you type in a certain word, it'll say, do you want to send them this? And it might be a Taylor Swift song or something. It's stupid and annoying.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't have the video of it. Yes, let's promo our show in the middle of our show. Okay, so that's the picture from when that was taken. I can find the video, so it shouldn't be too far behind. I should be able to find the videos, right? She refers to anything I bring home from.
I'm taking a video of this too. That's the best part. You know what? That is the full Monty all the way too. Look at him. How did he do it?
I found the full Monty from Sonic video, and I'm playing it for him now. Let's hope Facebook Live doesn't pick it up and mute the video.
Have you seen the full Monty?
No, that was what I was talking about.
Anything I bring home from Insomnia Cookies, a slice of a cookie. Oh. Hey, Michelle, comment if you're still watching. Because I don't feel like typing this out. I love this version of this song. How close are we to State Road?
Minutes.
You know where the Walgreens is?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Hey, cool. There's a 24-hour Walgreens on State Road, just like right up the road from here. So I'll grab it when I leave here.
You go right out of here, go left up the hill. You'll hit State Road and Walgreens is on your right.
Where is? I've seen this before. Where's Trail Extension? Oh, shush. Stop. I passed it. Right, there's Bath. Screw it, I'm looking at the maps. Make my hair hurt. Oh, shit. That, okay, so we were like almost right by it when we went to, what the hell the other day? Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Forge Trail Extension, which is like right around the corner. Yeah. Okay, I know where I'm going now. All right. Dipping into the stash. What the hell is she talking about? Debbie, what are you talking about?
This.
Oh. Well, you made it readily available and you didn't lock the door, so.
You said I could. Moist.
Moist. Is it moist in here yet?
We haven't. We've done a whole show without that.
We still
That's
have another
all gonna
hour.
change
We have an
now.
hour of moist to go. Be a long, long time. Ooh. I need to find about State Road runs into 303. I love Elton John. That wasn't Elton John singing, though. It sounded like it could have been, but it wasn't. That's a really pretty rendition. I'm going to say pretty on the Manpocalypse show. I don't care. That's a really lovely rendition of that song. Just
said
vocal
pretty and lovely.
Vocal and piano. That just
It was very nice.
very nice. Rocket Man.
Soothing.
Grace Gaustad is the name of the artist, and I'm probably not pronouncing that right, but I don't care. I'm sure she does, but that's what happens when you have a name that most people will go, "What did she say again?" Welcome back to the Manpocalypse radio show. You're listening to the SKO Radio Network. 330-871-4422. That number once again is 330-871-4422. The phone lines are open for the time being because let's face it, we're awesome. We love our jobs.
So
I have to make a pit stop on the way home, so I'm trying to find, okay, well, how do I get home from here? And I think I've got it.
That's okay. I've got to share this because I just found it ironically funny. I follow a page called Live Bearded, and I got a notification that they just went live. Talk about adding insult to injury at the moment, because I am no longer bearded.
I thought you were going to tell me that they kicked you off.
That hasn't happened yet.
That they said, hey, all things considered, we saw you on the Manpocalypse show, and we regret to inform you that your services are no longer required.
I think the notification's on its way.
Yeah, I can see. Without the beard, what your face kind of looks like now. It looks
Moist.
We have gone through an entire show and have not said moist once. We are going
to do it.
We are going to beat it into the ground for the last hour. Moist. My throat feels a little moist today.
Debbie said that our new theme song for me should be
"You Look
I
Wonderful
Look
Tonight."
Wonderful Tonight. Thanks, Deb.
Mike's theme song. Pretty, I'm so pretty. He feels pretty and witty and gay.
Oh,
How that fades out for you there.
all right, thanks.
That will not be the last time I do that.
I'm sure it won't.
Mike feels pretty.
Oh, so
Moist.
pretty.
Pretty and moist.
Oh,
Wow. Drink a few more of those Arnold Palmer.
Right.
You'll feel better. Why am I still looking at this? I think I figured out what I need to do. Okay. So I have to stop at the drugstore, which the one right around the corner is 24 hours. So yay.
24-hour drugs.
24-hour drugs.
That's the way to do it.
Ooh, mystery caller. Let's see what mystery caller has to say. Villain Kong. Not anymore. Thanks. I've got my left hand. Wow, that didn't take long.
No, it didn't.
No. I wonder. I pushed a button, and I think I need to push it again. There we go. I was messing with the buttons when we thought it wasn't going over, but that's
Right.
okay. Catch me up. I was texting with. Well, you were Michelle was texting with you.
Yes.
Oh. So you're finally getting him to do the full Monty. All right.
Working on it.
There's nothing to catch. Oh, moist. That's about it in a nutshell. Just moist.
So yeah, what are we gonna finish the show on?
Moist.
How many times can we say moist in 45 minutes?
Shane was here for a while. He got here like right on the break.
I know. I tried to get him to stick around.
Well, he has to drive home. I don't think he can handle us and driving. I can't even handle us and driving at the same time. I can barely handle me and driving at the same time.
Right.
Forget about it. did we have anything for the last hour other than just, hey, what does Debbie want? She's texting me now.
Oh boy, we did something wrong.
No, Debbie, I can assure you the phone has been answered every time it rang. All 3 times now.
Grace.
So there you go. And it's not ringing
We're
right
watching it right now. It's not ringing.
now. So yeah, we had Ellie and Michelle in earlier, and then somebody wanted to sell me toilet paper.
Yeah,
But
the toilet paper one came through and hung up. So if that was you, Deb,
yeah, probably was.
you hung up on us.
Yeah, that's okay. Michelle's going to be calling us back in now, so that should be fun. And there's Michelle.
And there's Michelle.
So yeah,
And he's answering it.
and I'm answering it, and Michelle will say hello. See?
Hola.
So yeah, Deb, the phones are getting answered. Haha, I win, you lose.
I think he
I'm
already
sorry.
knows that.
I'm trying to. Why would I? Why? I'm sitting here trying to figure out if that was like challenge accepted or not. Hey, it's the same number that tried to sell me toilet paper.
Here we go.
Here we go. Thank you for calling the Manpocalypse. You are on the air.
We already told you no.
Nope. But well, we were no.
No.
No, we're good on toilet paper. Thank you. And that was it with that one. Yep.
People love prank calling us.
Apparently. So that's it. Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Oh, Lord.
No, ma'am. How long have you been waiting for one? Dear God.
What happened was our internet went out. And usually when our internet goes out, it's an outage.
Right.
You know, or my favorite is when they try to blame it on a squirrel.
Yeah.
That was when I would go back through some of the outages and they'd say it was a squirrel chew. And I'm thinking, I've seen the size of some of these cables. We've got some massive squirrels in Northeast Ohio. No, we don't.
No.
So so when the internet went out, you know, she called and they made her make an appointment. And I'm thinking, and now I remember. Right. Yeah. Well, the thing was, I got an email saying, hey, your appointment is scheduled for Saturday. I'm like, hey, I'm going to be in Toledo, so good luck getting someone to answer the door.
I always like that customer service line. We're going to escalate this, sir. Or ma'am.
Well, think back to, I almost sat back and said, hey, this is how we used to do it when you worked there. And yeah, I was close. Anyway, so essentially, Michelle called in to show that the phones are ringing and we are answering them. So, oh, hey, by the way, I did come up with the idea. I don't know if you actually thought I was kidding or not. Were you going to put Bella on the phone? I don't care. I was saying she was telling me that what she was trying to do during the break is she's trying to pack. She's trying to put Bella in the bathtub and do a bunch of other things. And I said, oh, well, just put Bella on the phone. And she never answered. So.
Hey, We're proud parents here on the Manpocalypse.
Bella. What? What did she say? SKO radio. She's looking at the caller ID on Mom's phone.
Hi, Bella.
Bella. Bella, you gonna bring me a slice of a cookie? Yep. There's a cookie toy. A cookie. She's calling me from the bathtub. Holy wow. Bella, are you in the bathtub right now? What are you doing? You're playing with the cookie toy in the bathtub? Bella, did you get bubbles this time or no bubbles? Nope.
Boo.
Oh my goodness, I didn't realize she was still in the bath. It's a daytime. Okay. This has got to be a first for the SKO radio network. We are talking to a naked 6-year-old. Oh my God. Wow. I'm sorry, she's clothed and in the bathtub? Oh, okay. Well, when we were talking to her, she was. All right. Thanks for stopping by, Billy. Appreciate. Yeah, from Facebook. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Say this.
Dude, man.
Dude, man. You can feel that one.
Right?
I love how the last 2 times you said that, you said iTunes wasn't balanced.
iTunes wasn't balancing.
I know, but you said iTunes. Yes, you did. You're swimming in cortisone.
That's okay. Aaron's over here shatting himself.
The shake is catching up to me. I moved the floor with that one.
I felt that fart in my feet, man.
The best part is they're not permeating yet.
No, they're not.
They're just earth movers.
Just all of a sudden there's a rumble on the floor.
The Geological Society called. I think that was a 5.4.
Yeah.
Tremors.
Tremors 18, Aaron's ass.
I think we found the fault line. We were going to talk about. We spent so many episodes talking about the front. Now we're going to talk about the back. My bodily functions are the subject of this show way too often. The last hour of the show
we were on a good, serious
We were on a
path.
good-
This was a great show, and then we
we
just
had-
spiraled out of control.
We did the first 2 hours. Tune in. It's wonderful. We have good conversations. We have good topics. The last hour, we just take our shoes off and just crack farts. We don't care.
It was actually all good until we said moist.
Moist.
Moist opens the idiotic floodgates.
It's a moist floodgate. You have friends?
We all have friends that cringe at the sound of moist. That's why we say moist.
Moist. I knew somebody that won't. I knew
Whoa!
I'm sorry. Did you just ask if I had my moist snack today?
She did, and then she let out the most wicked little cackle. I don't know how else to describe that laugh.
See, here's the problem. She
right
says
there.
stuff like this on the air, knowing that, I'm not going to go there. But when I try to go there at home, she's like, shut up.
I was like, you're disgusting.
All right, you know
Listen
what?
to that.
You have no room to bitch about Bella's maniacal laugh when you laugh like
You're
that.
evil.
That is maniacal laugh all day. We were laughing moist snack.
Moist snack. Spoken by your wife.
But my wife is asking if I've had my moist snack yet. If this story ends with your mother's moist snack, I'm leaving now. Because I'm sorry, I already can't get the damn visual out of my head. I'm stuck for the night. I'm just like, oh God. Oh my God.
You've ruined it.
Oh my God. I had such a wonderful shake moment at the beginning of the show, and at the end of the show, it's her mother's moist snack.
Oh God.
Good Lord. This went from here to fuck it, like in 3 hours.
Oh yeah, we hit fuck it real fast.
I'm Wade Watson. I fit fuck it. I'm not even gonna do this now. I'm saving this for the very end of the show. I can't segue into that. I can't.
You know the bad thing
Segue into that
for
at all.
some reason we've chosen moist as our word. At
Moist.
some point that has to be on the t-shirt. No, I mean for the Manpocalypse.
We need to put that underneath the logo on our shirts, just like in quotation marks or something.
The Manpocalypse pig, and then right below it, moist.
Tell Tina to get more vinyl. There you go. She's buying us a big moist roll.
Wow.
Now, you know what? I can deal with Tina's moist roll. Yay! 1 for Aaron. The score is tied. Oh, Tina's moist roll.
We have hit rock bottom.
You know how tempted I am to text her right now and go, Michelle wanted me to ask you about your moist roll. She'll be like, what the hell are you guys talking about? Well, we're on the air now, so. Oh, no. She'll call the show. And she'll chew me out on the air.
Just give me the number. I'll text her. Hey, Michelle and Aaron told me to ask
About
about
your
moist roll.
Won't even bat an eyelash about who the hell this is.
What the hell is wrong with us?
There's so much that's wrong with this. It's like 9 o'clock, just the fuck it comes out.
Manpocalypse, where we can go from being good parents to being the
See,
most
we put the
twisted
kids to bed at
perverted-
9. We put the kids to bed at 9 o'clock. We talk
That's-
about
that's
parenthood.
true.
We talk
That's
about
true.
manners, and we talk about setting a good example. The kids go to bed, and it's like we take off our shirts and we put our hands down our pants, and we look like Al fucking Bundy.
Oh yeah.
And since Debbie's not listening anymore. Here's the fun part. I still have the playlist up here. I can just like pop that right
We can
back
just
on.
throw that right back on.
There you go. Michelle can enjoy her mbop. Yeah. Ellie gets some chair dancing too. There you go. There you go. There's your mbop.
What about Austin Powers?
What? Oh, she's trying to give me her bag of shush.
Zip it.
Mm. Good burger. There's your topic. What? Moist. I think we're already
Yeah, I
making
think-
a topic out
yeah.
of moist. Thank you very much.
It was just a word we threw around. Now it's a whole topic.
I didn't even say anything. She's laughing.
She's just cackling away.
So I think we found our third co-host. Just call in and laugh at us. Tina's moist roll.
On the Manpocalypse.
Coming up next on the Manpocalypse. Michelle is going to be up all night.
With Aaron's moist snack.
Oh, dear Lord. Y'all just ignore the sounds you hear coming from the other world. We're not fighting. Mommy lost
Mommy
lost something behind her pillow. I'm helping her find it
Mommy and Daddy are just wrestling.
with her feet.
God. Pretty much.
So someone, I think after when Pat
Yeah.
asked me to describe the show aside from the blurb that we had on the
Yeah.
Facebook page. I'm like, it's really kind of a morning style show. If you stop and think about it, I mean, we hit on topics that we think are relevant, but after a while, we just kind of open our mouths and whatever the hell
happens.
comes out, just and we go nuts. And
Like,
that's been and yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, but it kind of has been happening that way. It's going to get very, very interesting
Yeah.
when you walk out of here for that last hour. It's like, okay, now I'm just going to go nuts by myself.
Well, I kind of had a half-assed topic, but I just can't get back to it now.
What was the half-assed topic?
I don't even remember. In all honesty, like,
Okay,
we've
so
gone to moist snacks and
Listen.
moist rolls and Mommy and Daddy are wrestling and God, there's any serious topic is dead.
and none of those were even remotely close to
No.
whatever serious topic you thought you were going to talk about.
Nope. It's okay though.
Michelle's maniacal laugh.
Wicked witch laugh.
There's no secret involved. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
That just proved it right there. God, did you hear that thing?
Mhm.
We're making fun of your laugh.
Moist.
Squidgy.
Squidgy. Anyway,
Oh, God.
well, we're going to let you pack and bathe and dress and do whatever you're doing. Thank you for calling in, Michelle, and making my drive home a lot more scary. Holy wow.
What are you walking into?
I don't know. I think I'm going to make a few more stops on the way home. I'm going to drive. I'm going to stretch this drive home a lot. I don't have to go to work tomorrow. I'm getting up. I'm not getting up early. I'm going to Toledo whenever I fucking feel like it.
You could walk in your door to the night of your dreams or your worst nightmare. It's 50-50 right now.
No, it's not 50-50. It's like about 95.
Like, just flip a coin, man.
It's just gonna be one of those where it's like, okay, well, you had your fun. Yeah, the piper needs to get paid, bitch. I'll be like, yes, dude. Anyway, one more mention here for us about the standpipe Scotch doubles bowling tournament. I keep calling it a tournament.
It's.
I have not bowled competitively in decades, so
I've never bowled competitively.
I don't know what a Scotch doubles. I don't know what Scotch doubles are, other than
I
know that it's a double Scotch is about that much. And
I asked
Well,
the other day because my assumption of Scotch doubles was two people got on the team, drank a lot of Scotch, and tried to throw the ball towards the pins. But apparently, the way this works is for each frame, you basically take turns with your teammate. So you would bowl first, and like if you left a 7-10 split, your teammate has to pick that up.
Oh, what do they call that in golf? Skins, where it's like, okay, each person takes one person tees off and they make the next shot, and eventually they get around to whoever has to putt.
Yeah, somewhere,
Okay.
something along those lines.
So the Scotch doubles bowling event, tournaments,
Thing.
charity thing will be taking place at Legend Lanes on State Road in Cuyahoga Falls. Now I know where that is, how to get there. It is still going to be not this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday, 22nd, 1 to 4 p.m. Entry fee is $30 per team. $10 goes to the lineage. $20 goes to stand. There will be raffles. There will be a 50-50 raffle. There will be silent auctions. There will be prizes. If you have any questions, you have items you want to donate, or just have information that you need to obtain, please call the station at 234-706-5857. That number is 234-706-5857. Or contact our general manager, Debbie, at 234-900-9770.
And just because we here on Manpocalypse don't really know anything about bowling, does not mean you should not go.
Now, are you going to be there?
I'm going to be there. I'm going to be actually the photographer for the.
There you go. I unfortunately will not be able to make it. I am on call that night. Now, when I tell you that I'm on call that night, what that means is I have to be ready to take phone calls between the hours of 5 p.m. and 2 a.m.
Ugh.
Well, it's a 1 to 4 event here. It sounds like you should be able to do that.
Oh, no.
I have to be ready to take calls anywhere between 5 and 2. And yes, we have people that will call late into the night.
Oh, yeah.
So when the on-call phone rings, I have to get up. I have to call them back. I have to do whatever the task they need me to do.
I've got to come in here.
I plan on trying to get some sleep so that I can be at least somewhat coherent when I have to wake up and go, you did about 2 you for the bar.
Pretty much. Now, I've got to come in here that morning and run the boards for the kids show, which somehow they've suckered me into being a part of now.
Right.
Um,
Well, Kaylee is like a permanent part of that show now.
she is.
So she suckered you into it.
No, they both did. So I'll be here doing the show with them, and then I got to drive the kids over to the bowling alley. So it's gonna be
get some caffeine.
it's gonna be a nice little Sunday.
I cannot stop you. That's not a good thing. But hey, they've got a pop container, the cooler there.
right.
So yeah, I will enjoy it vicariously through you. I will unfortunately not be able to make it, but I will be there in spirit.
I'm gonna try to see, just what they'll let me get away with as far as photography goes.
You should
I
have
really want the angle of the bowling ball coming straight at me,
right.
but I don't know if they'll let me do
I
that.
don't know if they're gonna let you on that lens to
Maybe.
do that.
Who knows?
Although I'm sure that Earl would be more than willing to throw a bowling ball at you.
I'm absolutely sure he'd be
You would
willing to
probably
do that.
get him to set that shot up in the parking lot. The only thing is you'll probably have to go across the street to retrieve the ball.
Yeah.
There you go. As far as auction prices go, I know that we were trying to think of something to put together for the auction. You probably could have gotten away with auctioning your beer.
Oh, I should have done that.
I know that Ellie's already putting in a bid for it.
Is she?
Yeah.
Ellie, you want my beard?
Yeah, Ellie said she wanted to put in an auction for auction bid for Mike's beard here. What do you want to start the bidding at, Elle? Let us know.
Yeah.
So
The timing would have been better. That would have been perfect.
yeah, what would have been better is to, hey, I'm required to shave my beard, auction off the ability to shave it off for me.
Oh yeah. That
And
would
even
have
as
been
we
fun.
were talking about at the top of the hour, within reasonable limits, I'll even allow you to, rub your chesticles on my back.
Yeah.
So, because it's for charity.
For charity.
So, this is not a Chicago or a Columbus strip club where you're not allowed to touch the. Oops! Did I talk about the news? Sorry, but it's for charity.
Ellie's response
charity.
was, "Get the fuck out of here."
Okay. So, all right. So, Ellie, new bid option here. Since his beard is already gone and I haven't shaved in over a week.
How much would you pay to shave Aaron's beard?
There you go. We can auction that off. Ellie can start the bidding. There we go. But see, she's got to schlep all the way in from where she's coming from. So that's that's a fun drive. Who were we talking to? We was talking to somebody. No, you know what? It was you and I were talking. We went to Taco Bell the other day.
Yeah.
About you were wearing the Callahan Auto T-shirt,
Right.
and we were talking about how
And the
in the
cashier
movie,
actually called me on it.
right? And we were talking about how in the movie, the main characters in the movie fly from Sandusky, Ohio,
To
Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio, two places that neither
has
have
an airport.
any kind of airport in them whatsoever, let alone the type of airports that you saw in the movie, which were like full functioning international airports.
Right.
Okay, there's no any kind of airport in Sandusky. The closest airport is actually further south in the county. And there's no airport in Cuyahoga Falls. You either go to Cleveland or Canton. Two, we're talking about the distance between Sandusky and Cuyahoga Falls. Get in a car
Get in the car and drive.
and drive it. You'll probably get there before you board any fucking airplane.
Right.
Every time I watch that movie, I want to take it to Cuyahoga Falls. What? And I didn't even live in Cleveland when I first saw this movie. I'm like, what? That's like suburban Akron. What the?
And yet, the funny thing is that's one of the things that people that live in Ohio still love about Tommy Boy. They got it all wrong,
Right.
but Ohio was in that movie.
Right. What was another one?
I have so much fun wearing that shirt too, because when somebody sees it and doesn't know, oh, Callahan Auto Parts, where's that? Sandusky.
Sandusky, Ohio.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really
Yep,
there.
it's really there. Go check it out.
I used to tell people when I used to go visit relatives in Baltimore and upstate New York and Florida and things like that. And I tell them I live in Toledo. What's a mud hen? The fuck if I know?
Yeah, I have
No
clue.
one knows what a mud hen is or has ever seen one. Okay, the best description I can give you is a dirty chicken.
Yeah, a female chicken got douched in mud.
I did.
That's about it.
Got douched in mud.
I had to pull one.
I can tell you that yes, Jamie Farr is from Toledo. Yes, he's annoying. He's annoying, and yes, Tony Pacos does exist.
Yep.
That's about it. Yeah, because from back then, the only thing that anybody knew about Toledo was what they had seen on MASH.
Right.
What was another? There was another. It's either a TV show or a movie or something, but they were featured like. Oh, well, I was just talking to Earl about the movie Accepted.
Yeah.
Took place in some non-existent city in Ohio,
Right.
which was funny as. It's just they talked about other places in Ohio, but the city that this took place in doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist.
Nowhere. Doesn't. You couldn't even. It doesn't exist, and it was in no correlation to any other place in Ohio. It's just we're just going to drop in Ohio, but the this crappy movie with Melissa Rauch where she was the gymnast. I can't remember the name of it, but it took place and was shot in Avon.
Really?
And I thought that was kind of that was a little bit funny, but the movie was just I think I got through when I can't finish a movie when I get through like the first half hour and I'm like I'm done.
Yep.
I write it off. It's a crappy movie.
Now, Ellie brought up Drew Carey.
Yeah.
Drew Carey, he's from Cleveland. I mean,
Drew Carey grew up in Cleveland.
Yeah, he kept it.
He's from California.
Well, yeah, but he kept it pretty legit.
Right. And yes, there is a song. I actually tried to put that on next week's playlist. I talked about it before. There's a short version of Moon Over Parma, and there's the full version of Moon Over Parma. And I actually was able to sing along with the original full version because I was like, oh, hey, I know where all these places are now.
Hey, Ellie, was that a comment in reference to me saying that Klinger is my favorite Disney princess?
Klinger is my favorite Disney. What do you mean Klinger is your favorite
We
Disney?
brought up MASH, and Ellie said she liked Klinger,
Mhm.
and I said that Klinger is my favorite Disney princess.
Mike's truck. Oh, okay. Yeah,
So,
because
so who does Disney own?
everything.
Everything.
Disney owns everything. Oh,
They-
yeah. The best one was if you work backwards, Tim Curry is now a Disney princess.
Yeah,
And
but Klinger is officially, in my book, a Disney princess now.
absolutely. I'm sure that if we work back that, we can make Klinger a Disney princess. But yeah,
He deserves to be.
Tim Curry is officially a Disney princess because I think it was Fox that
Yep.
originally released Rocky Horror Picture Show,
And they originally released MASH.
and now that Disney owns Fox as well as a bunch of everything else.
So that's what it comes down to. Disney owns Fox. Klinger was on Fox. Klinger's a Disney princess.
Oh wait, this just in. Disney owns the Manpocalypse. Disney owns the Manpocalypse. We are officially Disney princesses.
Yes.
There you go. That was wow. So, on that note, I feel that we need to
I think it's
celebrate
time.
with the
Yeah.
song. Feel pretty, you're so pretty. I feel pretty and yay!
Moist.
Moist.
Thank you for listening to the
All right.
Manpocalypse radio show. Tune in for at least the next 4 Thursdays, right here on the SKO Radio Network from 7 to 10 p.m. I am Aaron. He is Mike. Say goodnight, Mike.
Good night, Mike.
Good night, Mike. Finish big
Finish strong.
and finish anywhere. Oh, yeah. Really long intro to the song. I jiggle my boobies. You could see it through my shirt. That's how bad it is. That is the show. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for
Thank you
watching.
guys very much.
See you again next week. More videos to come this weekend. Going to be out of town. Probably do some Toledo stuff. Don't know why, but who cares?
Because we can.
And I got to hit the end video thing. I got to reach. Blaya Kath. Mwah. I didn't even hit the button.